Chances are if you're watching this video you already know what this is, but if you don't, it's the Keeley modded blues driver but in their own housing. I've got some examples I'm going to show you now of a low gain setting, a high gain setting, and I'll give you some of the clean amp for reference as well. I've had this pedal for about maybe 6 months and I've used it in a variety of different environments. I've used it into a driven amp, a clean amp and a multi-effects, and it's been good in all of them, but I would say that it's got a little bit of a grainy nature to the Overdrive, and for that reason I'm selling the pedal. I like a very smooth Overdrive sound, and whilst it's good, it just doesn't really suit me. I've got a couple of live examples I'm going to play you now. One is a band recording and one is a solo backing tracks gig. Both examples have been recorded with a Tascam DR40, so it's just a room mic, but it's fairly representative of what was going down at the time. In that last clip, I was using the Bogner Alchemist with a fairly decent amount of drive on it, and I was using the Phat mod as a boost for it. For me, that's the best usage for this pedal. I think you can use it as a standalone gain, but it sounds better when boosting an already driven amp. I think that's where it's that's where it's designed to be. In this next clip, I'm using it as a standalone drive, albeit I've got a compressor running before it and a DD3 delay running after it. I'm using a DV Mark amp which is set completely clean, like just totally clean, there's no breakup at all. Just a quick note about the housing that this thing's in. It's well made, as you would expect it to be, you know, knobs and switches and everything are fine. It's probably got the brightest blue LED you've ever seen. I'm not sold on the position of the LED, it's just above the switches right here, just above the knobs. When the pedal is at an angle and you're looking at it from further away, you can't see the LED. I would rather have the LED this side of the knobs. Although I guess then it would be underneath your foot when you're standing on it, but at a glance across the stage I would be able to see the LED better, whereas where it is right now you kind of have to be directly above it. The other thing that I would say about it, and this is not having a go at Keeley at all because a lot of manufacturers do this, so they've given you the option of running this off a 9-volt battery, but to get into it you've got 4 Phillips screws, which means you have to have a screwdriver. I don't think that's that practical in a live gig situation to whip out a screwdriver to change a battery, which means I probably wouldn't run this pedal off battery most of the time. In fact, I don't. I never run them off battery. I always run them off the 9-volt. But if you're the kind of player that does that, this is less than practical access to this battery. So really it's only for an emergency, and the thing with it being an emergency is that you would be unprepared for it. That's why it's an emergency. So I had a pedal before, I think it was the Dart Matter by TC Electronic, that had one giant screw in the middle and basically had a slot big enough that you could either use a guitar pick or a coin or something and get into the pedal without having to have a screwdriver with you. Or, and I thought about this thing, this is a camera mounting plate. So you see you've got a screw thread on the top there, and there's a, you know, the back end of the screw there with a slot big enough for a coin. But it's also got this tab, if I can get hold. I hope you can't see this mic, by the way. I know this is wildly professional, but I've been holding this the whole time. It's got this kind of little tab that you can get hold of with your fingers that just folds down. But this means that this is toolless entry. You don't have to have a coin or anything. You can just do it by hand. I don't see why guys can't put that on the bottom of a pedal. I think that would be really, really practical. So, again, it's nothing to do with Keeley specifically, but it's something to bear in mind if you do use it off battery. Battery access is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, I hope you dug this video, and if you did, give me a like, share, subscribe, any of that kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.